here's our first reveal of the timing belt. Pull off that upper cover. Let's take a look. Oh, it's all cracked up. The official instructions say to take the spark plugs out to make compression turning over the engine easier. It's unnecessary. No. There she goes, tensioned.
Yeah.
Well, folks, welcome to Netcruzer Cars. So yes, I did buy the 2007 Honda Pilot. It's burgundy, and it's been running well. I've just been driving it around for the past week or so, and it has no issues, no lights, but the tick that you heard when I was doing that initial inspection, it's still ticking away. So we are going to work on that next. I bought the complete timing kit that the forums recommend. So this is the AISIN timing kit. It's got the Koyo tensioner bearings. This is the hydraulic tensioner. This is what's known to go bad and maybe what's causing that tick. The belt, water pump. We're going to do all that service today. I'm at a buddy's house who's really good with cars. He's worked on quite a few of these J35 engines, doing timing services and stuff on his own vehicles. So we're going to do it here, and I'm excited. I'm going to get to show you some stuff on how you could do this. It's a major deal if you get it wrong, so definitely only do it if you're comfortable or if you know what you're doing, and if you have someone who is to help you who knows what they're doing. So we're going to show you some stuff because recommended it's that you do it on a hoist and you have some special tools, but there's ways to get around that, which I'm going to show as tips and tricks of doing a timing service on a 2007 Gen 1 Honda engine, J35A9. So first thing you've got to do is take off this front passenger tire. Pull this off so you get some access to the belt and stuff from under the engine. So we're going to do that now. It's good you have the heavy duty stuff because I don't think I can even lift this car based on the tools that I have at this point. So we're lifting it up, going to pull that front tire off, and then we'll be able to get it access to the underside of the belt side. Engine covers off. This is what the real engine looks like with the upper metal intake manifold, and I believe this top plate is the EGR system, which is probably all gunked up as well. That'll be another future service video. Order of removal.
Okay, now that we got the cover off,
yeah,
we're going to want to get the serpentine belt off here. We'll be removing the power steering pump, and it'll just pull it out of the way. Okay. Because we're going to be getting access to this engine mount.
Right.
Okay. It's going to have to come out.
I wondered if that was one of the things you could skip doing. Was that mount? But...
No, it's okay. Yeah, and we're going to be working down in here getting the covers off. So getting the pump out of the way gives you better access to these bolts on the top of the timing covers for the belt for the rear cylinder head and the front cylinder head. It's just a process of working your way into the core.
Yeah,
I guess.
All right, guys, I am helping, and I've already broken my first thing. Harness mount, and I already snapped the head off. Great. You want to just pull this inner fender out just so you can get at the bottom of your pulleys and stuff that you're going to need access to
okay. We'll just work in through here.
You can bend it out of the way, and then you can get it where you need to be at. And so there's the bottom, and we're working at the top.
And we just released the serpentine belt
just to get the accessory belt off.
Yeah. All that fun.
Which, if you're going based on by the book, if you've never done this before, they don't even tell you about that step. So just be aware of that. If you buy one of these timing kits, they expect you to know how to get at the timing first. This is the serpentine belt, accessory belt. Just looking for the condition of it.
So you deflect it in the opposite direction it normally travels and look for cracks, right?
Okay, looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's in nice shape.
Yeah.
Don't need a belt today, that's for sure.
Yeah. And I failed to show you how you get that off. So there must be something you had to loosen down here to be able to get enough access to pull that the belt off.
This pulley right here is actually the belt tensioner. Okay, so you get a wrench on that, which is 14 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to pull it towards the rear of the car. You can pull it.
And the whole thing moves out of the side.
It just takes the tension.
It
takes the tension off the belt. It's a bit of a good grunt to get it out of there.
Yeah, and then you're pulling with your other hand at the same time.
With the second hand, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Exactly. Or with your helper.
Yeah. So there's a steering pump line coming off. So 2 10 mils, pull that line off, and then the power steering. Yeah.
Crusty bolts are holding on to the socket.
Yeah.
Like we've seen before.
Oh yeah.
So we got to throw it on the floor.
I'm gonna learn. We've already had to do that 2 or 3 times already.
Let me get it ready.
Every bolt I take out gets stuck in the socket. All right, related to this power steering, because this car is old and 237,000 K, I have no idea how old this power steering fluid is, but it's pretty brown. Like, it almost looks like engine oil, so I think we're going to try and change that too.
Yeah, as best we can. We'll drain as much out as we can, and then we'll replace it with fresh.
Okay.
And we'll clean this bottle.
Yeah, the bottle's very hard to read.
You can't see
it's so dark and dingy, you can't
see the fluid level.
Yeah. So we're just grabbing a hose clamp.
This guy.
Yeah, that's a special hose clamp tool, so it's not going to cut the lines.
These are perfect for this diameter hose, and it won't damage it.
Yeah. So we're just pinching this off so we're not making a mess, right? This is just so it's not leaking all over while you're undoing it.
We're gonna lay under this thing.
Yeah.
You know, in the next couple steps, we'll be down below working on that harmonic balancer. And
right.
I don't really like getting covered in, fluid.
Me either.
Dripping.
So that's the quality of my power steering fluid, which looks like engine oil, and I don't know. I don't know what color new stuff is. Almost clear, I think, but yeah, that's pretty gross.
Well, how many K are on it?
237.
Almost guaranteed it's original.
Probably original.
Yeah.
All right, steering's off, which gives us access to this passenger side. Is that an upper motor mount, or is that the only,
it's the only one? It's the only
so that's
one.
got to come off so you can get enough access to get at the rest of the
the gubbins,
covers and pulleys, the gubbins. And then tensioner's got to come off, and some of the covers got to come off. But anyway, we're just removing bolts. What is this? This is the tensioner for the serpentine belt.
Correct.
That we had to remove.
Yeah.
And bearings and stuff seem good. I thought it was interesting that it had a little plastic bushing on the rear side. Look, guys, it's like a Tamiya.
Tamiya. Yeah.
Tamiya. Anyway, that was all just to get extra access down here to get at the timing covers and stuff.
So ultimately, there was the corner bolt and the one bolt.
Yeah, there's 3 bolts holding that on. 1, 2, and then the one through the middle. Big one.
No, the other one was actually holding the alternator.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying. We could have got away without pulling it.
Right.
But ultimately, it was better that we did.
Yeah. All right, so this motor mount's got to come out. So we're just going to support the oil pan from underneath, just while we remove the 2 bolts that are holding this passenger side motor mount in place. And then we can get that out of the way, which then gives us access to get at the rest of the timing assembly. Oh, skirting's in the way, you can't see anything. These motor mount bolts are really tight, trying to get those off there. Actually, the breaker bar worked versus the impact socket really didn't do it.
Not enough
That's
horsepower.
Good. Getting her off. All right, here's our first reveal of the timing belt. Pull off that upper cover. Let's take a look. Oh, it's all cracked up. Oh, that's bad. This is very good we're doing this, guys. Look at how horrible that belt is. That's
pending failure.
That is 100% gonna blow. This is extremely important that we're doing this now. And I'm very happy that I'm doing this a week after getting the car, because I was gonna ride this for 90 days till almost the winter, but thankfully my friend here had an opening in his schedule and said, bring it on over, we'll do it this weekend. So I am super excited to get that crusty nastiness off of there, because that would have ruined this engine, 100%. That would have snapped. Then you have pistons hitting your valves, and then bye-bye motor.
And then I could have bought it off you cheap.
Yeah, would you have wanted it? So now you're just going to check timing now before we change anything.
Before we pull it apart, and it is running, so we know it can't be far off. The engine's running, but we do know the belt's in bad shape, and the tensioner probably is too.
So where's your timing you're looking for?
See that little triangle on the plastic cover down there? Right in front of my finger?
3D, it sticks out.
Right, so there's your reference for top dead center on the crankshaft.
Yeah.
We're going to rotate the harmonic balancer, the crankshaft, around until the timing mark on the pulley lines up with that.
Okay.
And then we'll check the timing marks on here. So you can see timing, there's a little, see that little mark in the casting? There's like a line.
Yes.
There'll be a corresponding line on the face of this.
Okay.
Which I haven't found yet, but I haven't looked either.
Yep.
And we'll make sure that those timing marks are lined up when that's lined up. And we'll just see what kind of situation is before we pull it apart. There's 2 top dead centers on a 4-stroke engine. Okay.
Right.
When the pistons are at the top,
yeah.
It actually comes twice. So first time you got exhaust stroke, pistons at the top.
Yeah.
So that timing mark on the bottom will line up, but the timing marks here won't. So then we'll turn it another.
So you need the timing for the cam, the exhaust cam side? Or?
Well, both. They'll have timing marks on both of them. So we want to make sure that we're on top dead center on compression stroke on the number 1 cylinder, not exhaust stroke. So that's when the bottom marks line up and the cams line up, and everybody's happy. So don't panic if it's not lined up first time.
Yeah, you might have to rotate it twice. Is that what you mean?
Might have to go around another 360 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a harmonic balancer.
Harmonic balancer. So this is where you're going to actually turn the engine over, rotate the engine off of that bolt.
So you can see on here, we've got an inner hub, which is bolted to the engine.
Yeah.
And we have the outer hub here, which is actually got for your serpentine belt. It drives your serpentine belt.
Okay.
In between the two, there's a rubber section. Okay. That cushions vibrations. That's your balancer. Okay, basically. Now those fail. That rubber fails, and the engine keeps spinning, and this stops. Bad things happen. So we're gonna have a look at your rubber and make sure it's good.
Okay.
Because that'll stop you on the road dead.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Timing mark, okay.
That's a little white divot in the back side of the pulley right there.
Okay.
If you can see that. So I've come past the mark on the timing cover. So I'm going to keep going around because you want to keep rotating the engine in the correct direction as opposed to going backwards.
Yeah, okay.
Tends to be not the healthiest. So
Okay.
that's coming around.
Looking for where that little 3D jut was.
See the little wedge here.
Yeah.
Right. And there'll be a little white mark coming across the top here. Actually, I can feel it with my fingers.
Yeah, you're getting close.
Right there. So we're going to want to line that white mark up.
Okay, well, stop. A couple of like chew marks on the belt right beside it.
There's ones in advance of it. Those are the advanced timing marks.
Okay, yeah, there's
And then
three
the
advanced.
last one is the big mark.
Yeah, there's 3 advanced timings and then the last one. And you're pretty much right on the last one now.
Okay, good.
But also that's, I mean, you have to look at it from straight above, because straight above you're off a bit.
Yep.
But from here it was, so it needs to come towards me like a couple millimeters.
Okay. Here.
So according to the instructions, you want to line up your timing marks on the upper 2 cams when you've got your timing on the tick. So that's what we're at the process of right now.
Right.
To determine if we're on the right side or wrong side of the timing.
Right. And this is just disassembly. So we're verifying what condition it was in at disassembly, not what it'll be when we put it back together.
Right. Okay.
Right. So this is quite interesting because our timing mark down below is lined up with the little wedge. Okay. And the timing mark above, we can see, I don't know if you can see in the mirror, there's a little 1 and there's a little notch here just in the edge of the pulley.
I mean, oh yeah, I see the 1.
See the 1?
I see the 1. Where's the notch?
It's that tiny little mark you see right there. That's all there is to it.
Beside it, or the one right above it? The one
It's right where my
right where your finger is. Okay, yeah. There's a little notch in the little. Okay.
That's supposed to be lined up with this.
With the top.
Right there. Let me get a little pointer. Okay.
All right, so we're just timing for cylinder 1, and the rest of them will follow suit.
That's right, because the engine's built with a timing sequence. So the ignition timing, the camshaft timing, all that stuff is inherent. So you just set up number 1 and everything else lines up properly. You only do 1 cylinder. So this timing mark is right here, as you can see. That's supposed to be lined up with this mark right here.
Oh, yeah, it's way off. Timing is way off. This is with the old belt.
That's 4 teeth off.
Yeah, that seems
which is bizarre.
Large.
For
how well it's running.
I've never seen one 4 teeth off. Now let's see what's happening on the back, because the back one also has reference points on it. Okay. You don't see it, you don't see it, you don't see it. It's right there.
Again, 4 lobes off.
Yeah. That is really crazy.
So is that a lot of a timing shift?
Yeah.
And is that, do you know if it's advanced or retarded or what?
They're advanced.
Okay. No, this is trying to remove the harmonic balancer bolt, which is probably the
tightest bolt on the car.
Tightest bolt on the whole car. Yeah, I don't know how many hundreds of foot-pounds it is, but you basically need a special tool to do this or some tricks. So he's got a little holder. Is that what we're going to try now? The holder?
Yeah, we're going to do this. Okay.
So
now
it just locks into place.
What happens is, and we don't want it to hit the oil filter. That looks like a new one. Did you do that?
They did oil and filter.
Okay. Basically, you need to hold the bar like that against the suspension, and you just bump
hold the bar against the suspension.
Right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So as the crankshaft turns, this will hold it, and it'll break the bolt loose.
So that's the little locker thing you put in there on the inside?
Yeah, if you want to use the crankshaft holding tool, it fits into that big hex.
Oh, so you don't have that on now?
No,
right?
no.
Okay.
We'll use that when we're retorquing it.
Oh, okay.
When we're putting it together. There's no need to be precise removing.
Okay, so you're just going to hold that and you want me to bump the starter?
Just click, click, click.
Okay, and that should knock it loose. That worked amazing. It just cracked loose. He just held that on there while I bumped the starter, and you heard it crack, and it came right off. Yes. Well, it came loose, so now it can just normally be unscrewed.
It's super tight.
Yeah.
So one of the things that happened is the engine's moved, right? Because you hit the starter.
Yeah.
Right. So now we got to bring it back around, set the timing again.
Oh, right.
Because we want everything lined up perfect.
Yeah.
Before we remove this thing.
Okay. So there's the big bolt. That's what runs the balancer.
Okay, so the balancer itself is keyed to the shaft. So, okay, you just wiggle it and pull. Okay. And it slowly works its way out.
Oh, and it's got a little keyway in there. You
yeah.
Make sure you don't
little Woodruff key. Yeah.
Woodruff key. Yeah.
You don't want to lose the key.
Yeah. Okay. You're just wiggling, pulling. There
yep.
it comes.
And there it is.
Okay.
So that we'll have a look at for the condition of the rubber.
Okay.
Right? Because if it's delaminating real bad, then potentially it could fail.
Okay.
And it could look better.
Yeah. It doesn't look horrible to me, but it's not new by any means.
No. I would say
okay.
Plan on changing it next time around.
Well, next time around, what's that? 7 years, another...
There's always a next time. Never say never.
Yeah.
Okay, so the little key's in there. Well, what we'll do is we'll remove the plastic cover now that I'm laying down here on the floor. If you want to hand me the 10mm, I'll go to town on this.
This is now the lower timing cover that's being removed from the bottom.
Trying to.
Work in progress. Right, as far as we can tell, this harmonic balancer might be the wrong one because that's what's throwing off the timing marks. When we look at the actual crankshaft, is that what you call that?
That's the crankshaft.
So
this is the lower timing pulley right here.
Okay.
Okay. The timing mark is there.
Yeah.
Little arrow. That timing mark should line up with the crankcase right there.
With the mark on top, the little arrow
Correct.
on top.
They should be pointing straight up and down.
And then once you do, then where we're off 4 lobes on the top should line up.
Correct.
So it looks like the engine was in time. It's just that the harmonic balancer guide is wrong.
Yeah, the timing marks on it are in the wrong spot. Which actually,
weird.
John,
yeah,
could indicate that this ring has slipped.
Oh, that because it's two-piece?
This could have slipped.
Okay.
Doesn't look it though, does it? I mean,
I don't know. I would imagine it's so tight you can't really tell by hand without it being on load. I don't know. And we're going to verify that the timing was actually correct. It's just that
yeah. So that's,
harmonic was wrong.
That's top dead center.
Okay, and
it's 180 out. So
yeah, so you're right on 5. So yeah, that was 180 out, and he's going to rotate it all the way around again. We're also doing this with the spark plugs in. The official instructions say to take the spark plugs out to make compression turning over the engine easier. It's unnecessary. Just go slow.
Unless you want to change your plugs.
Well, yeah, I haven't looked at those either. Yeah, you're right on.
Yep.
So timing was correct. So it had good timing to begin with.
Yep.
It's just it had a wrong gauge off that harmonic where it was that little the little yeah. Very odd. We don't quite understand that, but very odd. So this part
we suspect that the outer portion has shifted due to delamination of the rubber, even though it doesn't really look bad, but it's the only explanation for the timing marks shifting backwards.
Yeah.
And that's the way it would shift with the load. This is turning this way.
Yeah.
The drag is that way. It would move that way.
So there's nothing that holds those. It's just rubber that's holding those two parts together?
Correct.
Boy, that seems like a weak point. But
well, they last 12, 13 years.
Yep. Interesting.
Usually the car's in the boneyard by then.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, at this point we're just getting to the point of taking off some of the pulleys to get the old belt off. So that's the stationary pulley that's coming off now, and then there's the pivot pulley. I don't know what you. I don't know the official names for this.
For the tensioner,
guys. Yeah, the tensioner pulleys in the back. So pulling off those 2 pulleys, then the belt comes off, and then I guess water pump. Where's the water pump live?
I forgot you wanted to do that.
Yep,
it's down here.
Okay.
It's in the middle of all this stuff.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? It's right under this engine mount. You see?
Yeah.
Which is why the engine mount we're working on.
All right, so we just got the passenger side outer motor mount off of the frame rail, which was a bit of a bear. All that so that you can get at a bolt that sits under the motor side motor mount, so you can get that off to be able to get at the water pump, which is why we're taking this off. If you were just doing timing and pulleys, you do not have to do this.
Still got to get it out.
Oh, you do?
You do. You'll see in a second. It's got the belt captive in there.
Okay, so you do. It's got to come out either way.
There's no shortcut here.
The reason why you have to take out the mount on the opposite side of where his arms are is so that you can get access to get this bolt out that he's doing now, because it's right in the way. You wouldn't be able to have the access to move the bolt out without hitting the other mount.
You can see how long it is. Bolts are in beautiful shape. Look at that. It's still gold.
Yeah, they are big bolts.
Yep. And they had red Loctite on them. From the looks of it.
Yeah, okay.
Makes them twice as hard to get out.
Yes, they do. All right, now you've got a clearer picture. Most of the stuff you're looking at here is going to be replaced. That's water pump there, tensioner there. No, sorry, tensioner's the back, water pump, another pulley. So he's just going to cut the belt off.
Yep.
Just because it makes it, because that belt is toast anyway.
Oh,
and I was asking him about, do you have to mark the old belt? You don't, because all the timing melts are on the engine, so you don't need to mark the belt.
No.
There's no need.
None. It accomplishes nothing.
Yep. All right. So that old
unless you don't know how to read timing
mark.
marks and you're going to use the belt as a reference, but that's not clever.
That was going to kill that engine, and it is gone. Bye bye. So the pulleys are coming off. Now this is the water pump bolts.
Yep.
And as far as we can tell, the water pump was not leaking.
No.
As well as
I mean, there's a little bit of rust on the pulley, but
yeah. As well as the original tensioner looks okay. I thought this tensioner was bad, but it actually looks okay. So I don't know how you test it. It seems like it's got the proper tension. It's still pushing out. Doesn't seem to be leaking. So anyway, the thing that I was opening this up for was to replace this tensioner, which actually seems okay, but it's the best thing is we're doing it now because that belt was absolutely disgusting and going to break. All right, water pump is going to come out, but before we do that, we're actually just draining the rad. So we're getting rid of the coolant. It's got the green, what is that? Whatever they call it.
Turquoise? Honda quality?
It's not Honda quality coolant.
Oh, it's not.
I think Honda quality coolant is blue. This is just generic green stuff, which is the old style coolant, I believe.
You see we're losing almost more around the skid plate than is going in the pan.
Oh, are we?
But it's going over there.
Okay.
And we're not working over there?
Okay.
That's
Action. Water pumps out. We pissed out all the fluid all over the ground. Well, not all of it. We did catch half of it. So there's the old water pump. And, well, whatever. Coolant. Trying to catch it best we can. It's all over the place. The pump came out. Fluid everywhere. So now we're just at the point of cleanup and reassembly. Also it needs new coolant, which I did buy. Other than just cleaning, what did you clean it with? Just wiped it out?
I gave it a light touch with some Scotch-Brite and then wiped it with a rag. But it was clean. It was a really clean
So
surface.
pretty clean.
Yeah. Unlike so many other things in here.
So yeah, there's the old water pump, which doesn't look too bad. I mean, some of the dirt and the grit and stuff that was on these blades, was that from taking it out, or was that actually in the coolant system? Like there's grit and stuff on the blades?
That's probably dirt that fell down from the top.
Okay.
Because as we opened it up, then
Yeah, okay.
shit falls downhill.
Yeah. Okay. Time to put some new parts on. So this is one of the new pulleys. It's
good. Japanese.
good. Oh, Japanese parts. That's good. Actually, I think it's all Japanese parts.
Overnight parts from Japan.
Yeah. But it was already sitting in a Canadian Amazon warehouse. I don't think I told you, but I got this whole timing kit stupid cheap. I got this on Amazon warehouse open box. So tensioner, pulley, belt, the timing tensioner, and the water pump. 190 Canadian. Which must be like a quarter of the price of dealership pricing, I think. That's the new belt tensioner. And then the other one is the new pulley. And this is also the best stuff according to the forums. This is the AISIN kit. It's also better to buy it, a full kit. You can get this from Rock Auto as well. If I couldn't find it on Amazon, I was going to order it from Rock Auto. I had it in my Rock Auto cart. And then I saw it was in stock at Amazon, so that's your new stuff. Loctite. What was that? Just wire wheel? You cleaned up something?
Yeah, because
you cleaned up the bolt.
This was coated with red Loctite, right? So,
Okay.
so I removed it all. It's all clean now. Now it's ready to accept a new pulley.
Yep.
Okay. Right in here.
Yep. There's the other new one.
Easy peasy.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the rear. This is the front. We'll put the front on first.
Okay. These are both called tensioners, right? This is a tensioner pulley, and this is the time belt tensioner. And I was confused by what this little nubbin actually is putting pressure on, because I was thinking that seems abrasive to the belt, but it doesn't put tension on the belt. It puts tension on this part. Is that correct?
That's correct, because this is bolted in and it's pivots.
Right.
So
Okay.
when you release the tensioner, it pushes on here, pushes on that, which tensions the belt.
Gotcha. Because this doesn't come out very far. It's just a set pressure that's on it all the time.
It is. There's a spring in here.
Yeah.
And a like oil dampening mechanism in case there's any movement. There really shouldn't be much movement.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just basically spring pressure.
Okay. Anyway, all those parts are being replaced with all new stuff, besides the bolts.
Yeah. There's one of them, actually.
That's the new one. And then you only want to pull that pin when it's fully installed, belt on, ready to go.
That's right.
Then you pull the pin. If you accidentally pull the pulley early, then you're screwed.
No, you got to reset it. You pull it out, you put it in the vise, you clamp it, and you put the pin back in.
Okay. So this is the hydraulic, what they call the hydraulic timing tensioner that's going in. Still, do not pull that pin until everything's all in place and timing's done and belt's on. And new water pump is in, new tensioner's in, then the new pulleys will go in, then the belt, and then we just got to start bolting things back together. Set the timing, motor mount. Also, currently the engine has no coolant and no power steering fluid, so we got to replace some fluids as well. But as you can see here, that's the current timing mark. I think we're on 1 right now, so timing is good there. We still have that weird issue with the harmonic balancer being out of timing on the gauge, but it's just a gauge. So we know the engine is in good time based on these guides. It's the timing tensioner pulley going in.
Trying to go in.
Yeah. And so
I'm just fumbling a little.
That's all right. All right, we're torquing some of the new bolts now. The rear tensioner bolt is 19 foot-pounds, and the front one is 33 foot-pounds. And the bolts for the tensioner, the hydraulic tensioner that has that pin in it, are 9. So I'm getting those torque specs based on the timing kit instruction manual. So right here, that's the 19 foot-pounds for that bolt he just did, 33 foot-pounds for this one, 9 foot-pounds for the tensioner, and then the hydraulic balancer one, which I thought was really cranked on there, and it's the one that's hard to get off. You only torque it down to 47 foot-pounds and then plus 60 degrees. Because I would have thought it would have been like hundreds of foot-pounds for that.
Well, it's a big bolt. So when you stretch it 60 degrees past that torque value, you're stretching that metal, right?
Okay.
And it's big.
So here's a good belt. You see there's no cracks in it. That's an immediate giveaway pretty much for any belt. If you see cracks on the exterior of the belt, it's bad. You got to change it.
Yeah,
so,
normally you see them on the inside
so
first.
Yeah, normally, yeah, you would flex test them. So that other belt is just horrendously bad. Like, that's awful, awful, awful. So new belt is going on now. Just verified timing again based on those cam marks.
Put it on there loosely without the tension on it.
Yep.
And then we're going to check our marks and see where we're sitting.
So get the belt on, then check the time, and then put the tension on.
And then we'll probably have to adjust it because it won't be quite right. Crankshaft pulley is pulling the belt.
Okay.
You really want to start from the crankshaft pulley, holding tension on the belt,
yeah,
and then going to your exhaust camshaft.
Okay.
And getting it on here.
Yeah. Okay.
If you can. I had to actually remove the tensioner pulley to get it lined up and then put it on after because I needed, you can see how much slack I need. I need a lot.
Yeah.
So I can't stretch the belt, it's too strong. Right. So I'll probably back this one off and remove that rear pulley just so I can get the belt on, and then I'll slide this pulley back in.
Yeah, you want something without teeth.
This is the intake valve.
The intake valve timing that is now being adjusted.
Because it shifted.
The rear did move on us. We were looking at the timing on it, so it did move. So we're just aligning the timing marks of that cam, and then we'll put the belt back on, and then verify the front. So, all right, that did fight us a little bit. We set the rear timing, and then loosened off that pulley just to get it onto the front. Also, while the belt was off the front, then set the timing on the front. Had to move one tooth because it shifted, and now I think we're right on the money for both. So you're just aligning that mark with the mark on the cam, or whatever they're called.
And now we'll release the tensioner.
All right, now pull the pin.
This takes quite a good pull to this out of here.
There she goes, tensioned.
Yeah. You see how it's still sloppy on the front, right? So.
Oh, because this is still loose, this one?
Yeah, we got to bring that in. Bring that in before anything moves on us. We should have tightened it first.
We're on the home stretch now.
We think.
Yeah. This is the manual turn of the engine to make sure that it feels okay. There's nothing too jammed up, nothing binding. There's a quick test.
Make them look like new again?
Right. We're just in some cleanup phase. This is a motor mount being cleaned. This is that passenger motor mount that was taken off. And the timing is now done. It did fight us a while. We kept jumping time on the rear cam. So just be adamant that you have your timing on rear cam and front cam set correctly. Then you can pull out your tensioner pin, and then you can start reassembly. So that's where we're at now. It's kind of in cleanup phase before things are going in the reassembly. So something like this is a really gross timing belt cover bolt, and it has a little collar on it. So wire wheeling to clean these to get them nice and fresh-ish for going back on. So just take care, clean up your stuff before you end up reassembling. So that's what we're doing, is cleaning phase. All right, the timing covers are on, the motor mount is back in, the front passenger side, and now it's the idler and serpentine belt needs to go back on. Power steering and coolant.
Well, the pump's back on.
Oh yeah, that
we
is
just
the
need
power
to put the reservoir in and service the power steering.
Yes, so reservoir, power steering, and then add coolant, and then
go home.
And then fire it up. Yeah, ominous.
Yeah. What a day.
Yeah, this is quite the weather.
Right?
Oh, you already got the alternator on too. Yeah, when I had to go, I ran to go buy power steering fluid. So alternator's on.
Yeah, you missed out on all the
power steering pump's on. Anyway, if you're not familiar with how your serpentine belt goes, take a picture before you take it off, or look it up, because it's not obvious to me, but obvious to a guy who knows what he's doing.
It's already on all the other pulleys except for the power steering, but we have good access to the power steering to work with it.
Yes.
And now I'm going to get on the tensioner here, and I'm going to lever it, and then you can feed this around.
Move it. Okay, that's going to move it forward for me.
Yeah. All right, I'm almost ready.
This is the power steering reservoir going on now. It's been pressure washed and degreased, and now it's actually clear. So awesome. That's going to go hook the hoses back on, fill it up with some power steering fluid. I just went and got this stuff. This is where I went. It was Canadian Tire to go get this OEM power steering fluid for Honda, Acura, Toyota, Lexus, blah 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 blah. Expensive stuff, $26 a bottle. But anyway, don't just put some generic crap in it. Buy stuff that actually says it's for your brand of car, at the very least, if not official Honda fluid.
Makes you wonder if the Honda fluid's cheaper than that.
It might be.
Because that does seem like a lot.
It does seem excessive. Okay, so the power fluid reservoir's in. We got to plug the radiator because the rad is currently completely empty. Actually, the rad looks pretty good. I'm just going to put in the generic Prestone, says it works for anything. Now we're at the point of just kind of filling up fluids and then making sure that it still runs. Of course it's going to, right? Of course. And I have had a timing belt break on my very first car I ever had. I drove until the timing belt broke, and then that was a sad day. The power steering fluid going in. The oil was, or the outside of the reservoir?
Oh, the outside of the reservoir.
Yeah.
Oh, I overfilled it. Look.
Uh-oh.
It's not going down the funnel.
Because there was already green stuff in there, I'm just buying this Prestone Works with Anything pre-mixed just to get it filled up again. And then eventually I do want to do a flush and fill with proper Honda coolant, but we'll use this stuff for now.
10 cords.
New coolant. Timing service is done. We got enough power steering fluid in to start the car. Radiator's filled up to the point where it won't take anymore without starting the car. So this is going to be the first startup with the new timing, new tensioner, new water pump, new parts. Oh, it started. It's running. Okay, now I got to put heat on full. Heat on full, max fans, AC off.
Sounds quieter.
It actually does. The tick is gone. It's now got a little bit of a lift, but the really bad tick it had before is gone.
Lovely. And it was doing that when it was cold or hot?
Yeah, it would do it pretty near immediate.
There you go.
Now I hear a little bit from the top because it's totally due for the valve service. But
oh, that's perfect. I wouldn't change anything. They don't sound much better than that.
oh, there.
Oh, it's back!
Just coming.
Damn it.
We'll see. We'll see what happens there. So overall, it does sound quieter. Now, any kind of ticking is from the upper end. I know now that it's not going to grenade itself, so I'm happy. We're just trying to get it warmed up and suck down some more coolant, and then we go test drive it. All right, so that's the timing service complete. It now has a new timing belt, new water pump, new tensioner, new pulleys, all the good stuff it needed. I think that it had an original one in there, which would have been 13 years and 80,000 kilometers over its service span life. Ridiculous. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new on here, subscribe. If you want to talk to me, leave a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching. And thank you to my friend for helping me with that service, because I would have been lost without him. So definitely, if you have someone who knows how to work on cars and is willing to work with you, it's a great learning opportunity. I learned a lot. I had a really fun time doing it, and looks good. So we should be good here for another 7 years and another 160,000 kilometers.